You're watching The Art of Save Scumming, and I've got a quick tip guide for you on the use of blood hosts. So if you aren't familiar when playing as the Exiles of Khorne, if you blow up a settlement, then you have the opportunity to create a blood host with blood for the blood god. You can see this post-battle option here generates a blood host army. Now this army cannot move immediately after creating it, depending on whether you're using the Skull Throne or not will dictate how much movement you get back, depending on which lord you're using. Scarbrand gets more, but the actual blood army or blood host army cannot move after you've set it up. And typically what I do to protect it is do something like this around it, so at least coming from this direction, that army can't be attacked. Now, it can probably be reached from Nagarond here. The other thing that you can do is just double up right like that. Probably nobody's going to attack a double stack that looks like that unless they've got considerable armies. There is currently not any military presence there, and there is no military presence in this region either, so probably not going to get attacked over the end turn. Now, about this blood host, if we look at it close, you can see these are the units that were generated. I do pay upkeep on this army, but it does not increase my supply lines. So I do not have a supply line increase from summoning this army, but I do have to pay the upkeep on it. This army cannot replenish, except for in post-battle options. If I fight a battle and then I select the replenishment, then I have the ability to replenish. If you look here, in 5 turns, I will have a Bloodthirst Attrition, which means this army is just going to start taking attrition. This army here is currently taking Bloodthirst Attrition, and it looks something like this. So this army is going to continue to degrade unless it fights a battle. The next thing is, you can see this army is a little bit beat up, but we're going to be using it in the region. I'm probably going to attack next turn. But if we go over to here, this is an army that is a blood host army, but it is obviously not currently replenishing, but it is still costing us essentially full cost. But you can see all these units are damaged. So if we merge down these individual units here, watch our cost and upkeep drop. Now, we didn't do that much of an impact this turn, but I'm about to attack this settlement here, and I guarantee you that I'm going to lose some of those units. I didn't lose any units. I sacked that last turn. But now, I have some additional space to merge down some more units, and I can essentially lose this unit. I can also merge these. That's going to eliminate one. I can merge these, and I can basically lose that one as well. Let's see how this one looks. I would probably lose this as well. So now we've essentially cut the cost of that blood host army in half. It's still combat effective. It can still do some good work. And again, the life cycle of this army is not super long. The purpose of this army is probably going to be to come down through here, probably take some of these minor settlements. I've already taken out the main position for the Wood Elves here. They're probably going to take over a few more of these minor settlements of mine until I can get a real army over there. But unless they retake the Griffinwood, they're not going to be able to do a whole lot of recruiting, so they're not a super danger to me, and those garrisons here are going to be minimal at best. See, yeah, I'm going to be able to take that easily with this blood host. Now, why on earth would I want these armies sitting there if they're not combat effective? So that one obviously is, but there's probably a few more. Like if we look at this army here, this army also can be merged down, but this army is not really combat effective. It's not doing me anything. It's adding 4 damaged units to this army that's currently recruiting. I'm keeping this army because if you look here, if it follows this one around and just periodically fights a battle, then I can keep it from taking Bloodthirst Attrition, but I can also increase its benefits. And some of these are global benefits. So if you look here, global recruit duration -1, casualty replenishment rate +2 for all armies, growth +45 for all provinces, and then upkeep for the whole army reduced by 10%. So it's in your best interest to keep these alive, but you might get to the point where these are so damaged that you just disband the units and keep the actual lord in place. To give you an idea what this looks like, the upkeep for this army goes to 137, and keeping those benefits at an upkeep cost of 137 favor is nothing. Like, that is a no-brainer. So anyway, that's how to briefly overview the use of Bloodhost armies while using the Exiles of Khorne. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, then please consider a subscription, as well as sounding off in the comment section down below and let me know that you have topics that you want to be covered, and I will see if I can get to them.